5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. The only thing we have to fear is fear.
Mile 18.
This is Endurance Nation.
Resource alert. Hey, do you struggle to be consistent with your training? Do you have high aspirations, but they don't turn into reality when you're there on the ground training? Are you finding that your fitness goes up and down just like every time you hop on the scale? It's not because you're poorly organized, not because you don't have the energy or the motivation. It's because you don't have the right habits in place. The most successful athletes that we have worked with over the past 17 years have built a lifestyle of habits that empower them to stay on track with their training and keep them going through the highs and the lows. You need something beyond motivation to keep you going, and that's what our habits are for. You can access some of these key habits. Take the framework, take the template and the scripts, use it in your own life. You can get it for free online if you go to endurancenation.us/habits. Download the PDF resource, get up to speed quickly. It's not you, it's your habits. And we've got the fix.
Endurance Nation.
Hey folks, Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation. Welcome back to another weekly check-in. This week, new topic for you, new topic for me, talking about masters athletes. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about that transition that masters athletes go through, also known as denial, where they're becoming masters athletes, but they don't actually really want to think about or act like masters athletes. In fact, they want to hold on to some of the old glory that they have. I want to talk about how you can adjust, kind of pick up some of those cues from yourself and make smarter decisions. Here's why. When I think back to my career and starting, when I was in my 30s, really getting into endurance sports, started to have kids, my training world shrank, right? When I had kids, I had want to do training, but I didn't have a lot of availability for a couple of years, right? 3-4 years, right? Amazing support from my amazing wife, but still like just life crazy, right? Have to be there, have to take care of stuff, etc. Those are some of the best years of racing that I had. Then I came out of that. I was like, okay, wait, kids are getting older. Things are better. I could do more training, and gradually watching myself become smarter as an athlete, doing more work, but not necessarily getting the same ROI as the training investment that I had earlier in my career when I had these forced constraints. And now as I enter the master's period, hitting 50 mid-year this year, and kind of rolling into that second half of being an endurance athlete, I'm actually reframing what it means to go back to the second phase and thinking about how do I become smart? Just like I was smart earlier on when I had those forced constraints, how can I intentionally bring those constraints into my training environment so that I can become a better athlete overall? Same decisions that I made earlier, except those decisions were made for me by life. Now I have to make those decisions for myself. That's a lot harder to do, but we're going to talk through that today. So what does this early phase masters thing mean? Masters, right? Think about it. The master's mindset. Oh my God, I'm not old. What do people say? I'm not old. They say I'm just tired. Like I'm tired a lot. I take naps, or I'm just tired at the end of the day. Like I'm just tired, right? I say I'm not old. I'm just sore, right? Like that must have been a crazy hard workout because I really feel it in my glutes or my quads or my arms. It's just a crazy session. I'm just more sore than I normally am, or maybe I'm just slower, like I'm still working hard, but like the numbers don't show up like they used to. Maybe I put on a couple pounds, like maybe I lost a step, whatever. It's cold day outside, not feeling it quite yet, early this time of year, but like, I'm still good, right? I'm not old, or like I'm just stiff, like I just, it takes me like a mile to warm up. Back in the day, I could just come out of the house and run a 7-minute mile. Now I got to run a mile before I can run a 7-minute mile. Sometimes even a mile and a half before I got to run a 7-minute mile. Can I run a 7-minute mile? Yes, I can. Can I do it right out of the door? No. Why is that? It's because I'm getting older. Just say it with me. It's okay. Like, I'm so sorry. Hopefully this isn't a blast in your car. The kids are listening. Someone else listening. Yes, it's true. As a master's athlete, you are getting older. We're all getting older. Right now, you're older than you were when we started this podcast. Not older in a bad way, just older, and something we need to be on top of so you can make better decisions. There's a couple of rules that we have for our master's athletes that are actually in alignment with how Endurance Nation has always trained. Since 2007, we've had protocols in place that help athletes understand how to get the most out of their training to have better results, not just from a fitness perspective, but also better results on race day. You ready for them? Here we go. Number 1, quality over quantity. I love to train. I love volume. I've got time in my day with my work style and my life to be able to do more volume. But as I become a master's athlete, I have to go back to the basics of endurance nation, quality over quantity. A good 45-minute workout trumps 90 minutes of just kind of wandering around on my bike. Sure, those days matter. Every once in a while, getting on your bike and wandering around is great. Going for a long hike or a long aerobic day, great. But is that what's really making me better or stronger? No. So getting back to an emphasis on saying I need a quality session, put that session into a box, get the session done, check that box, move on, get on the rest of my day. That beats the quantity side every single time. You really need to think long and hard about that one, because we often benchmark ourselves against our peers, and our peers are not following this model. They're on Strava. You join a challenge like, I'll do the Nabisco December kilometer challenge. What place am I in? And you're like, I'm in 95,000 millionth place. How's that possible? Who's in front of me? And like, apparently the entire planet has been biking like all this time. Like the dude in first place lives in Thailand and he's got like 9,000 miles. It's only been 3 days. How does the guy have 9,000 miles in 3 days? I have no idea. And even though maybe part of you says that's probably not real, another part of you is like, but man, I don't, only got like 70 miles. Like, what's the story? I'm just really not doing well. And we judge ourselves against others, and we lose sight of the fact that quantity allows us to become stronger, allows us to recover better, allows us to get in that mindset of developing that mental six-pack that makes you stronger, not only on the key sessions, but also on race day as well. So quantity over quality, one of our key parts here inside Endurance Nation. Next one for you, fast and far. I love to say it, but we love to go fast and far. So I'd much rather take that quality aspect, put some good work inside of it, and later on, once we've gotten you strong, we add the volume. That's really important as you become a master's athlete. When we focus on getting stronger inside Endurance Nation, that means you're doing hard work, but also lots of rest as well. Those are commensurate. Equal work, equal rest allows you to develop, adapt, and become stronger. If we just go out and say, hey, go run 3 hours this weekend, go ride 3 hours this weekend, it's the winter, it's base training, just put all that base training in. You don't have the physiological strength to be able to maintain that and actually not have a form breakdown. Most of us, our form breaks down on the run after about an hour, hour and a half. On the bike, over time, like we get stronger across the course of a season, but beginning of the season, it's hard for you to hold the position on your bike and stay there long without discomfort and pain, right? And you're not really riding well. You're just going around in zone one, trying to keep your heart rate playing defense against actually going too hard to see any type of effort show up. There's a methodology behind that. I get it. But most of us actually have jobs, lives, social commitments, etc. We don't have the luxury of spending 5 hours outside on a bike in a day. Zone one, like behind my computer right now, tons of snow and ice. Like I'm not getting outside. I'm not spending that time out there, right? And so we think about building fast and then adding far. By building fast, we develop that core competency. We develop the skill set, the fitness early in the winter without worrying about putting excessive volume on. And then as we move into the season, we start spreading out that training stress in a way that allows us to distribute it across time in a way that is closer to what we're trying to achieve on race day. And that allows us to judiciously apply our efforts and grow into the volume that we need to have, as opposed to assuming volume is always there and we want to get after it. In reality, for most endurance athletes, the strength and the speed isn't there. We just leave that far behind and we spend lots of time just doing zone 2 time, happy, go out, hang out, chat. And then on race day, we have expectations for ourselves. We invert that by saying fast, then far inside Endurance Nation. All right, last one for you. Consistency always wins. Consistency beats flashy, right? I'll take it. Tortoise versus the hare every day. Turtles all the way down. We want you to be turtles because we want you to understand that every day, adding up that discipline, adding up that work over time allows you to create a level of momentum and a level of resilience that trumps any session, right? So it's very easy when you're younger to be like, just, do more on the weekends. Who needs to recover? I'll still go out with my friends. We'll party. And I got to go to work early, pull an all-nighter or whatever. It is easy to do when you're 25, 26, 27. As we get older, that doesn't work as well, but we can still outperform our younger selves and even some of the younger competition by focusing on consistency. How do I create that schedule? By now, at this point in your life, the things that work for you for scheduling and things that make a successful week and things that don't, right? So let's do more of the things that work, less of the things that don't. Let's get into a place where we're not playing catch up. We're not trying to force anything to happen. And instead we're saying, hey, I'm just a metronome over here, day after day, week after week, month after month, building this engine that's practically unstoppable, right? And that is actually really powerful. There's a skill and a discipline in maintaining that level of consistency, which again, pays dividends not only on race day, but also beyond that in other aspects of your life as you start to develop the rigor of creating habits and following through. I'm amazed at the number of people who say, oh, are you, I told them I'm learning a language, or I'm learning Spanish using Duolingo. They're like, oh, how you doing? Like, I don't know, I'm like a 900-day streak. They're like, you've been doing it for 900 days straight? I'm like, sure. Like, that's insane. I'm like, no, it's not. I do many things every single day. I've got lots of streaks going on. Like, that's just part of my DNA as an athlete, is that I get up and I do something that's part of what I do every single day. I'm investing that time in the outcomes that I want. And that's really powerful, right? Doing that consistency piece. So never lose sight of that. So to recap for you, quality than quantity, fast and far, consistency beats flashy. All right. Okay. So let's talk about some strategic steps you can take when you're in this denial phase and the I'm not old phase. What are some things you can actually do? I'm here to help. So I want you to go through this process and just kind of either pick one or two, maybe three. You're a little crazy. I don't know. You're still crazy aggressive. Let's see and see what we can find as a way to sort of crack that code and put you in a better position. Because you start to notice making subtle changes yields better outcomes. You can get better over time, make a higher level of better decisions that again leads to better outcomes for you. Okay. So number one, I talked about consistency earlier. This time I'm going to talk about daily movement. So I'm not really worried so much about, are you biking in zone 3 or are you running at a certain level or are you doing that key workout? When all else comes, push to shove, just stay active. Even if you have to go outside and just walk for half an hour or walk after dinner or take a lunch break with a walk, just on sessions, days you can't work out. It's amazing to me. People are like, it's not a workout. You won't believe the fitness differential between someone who trains 4 days a week and does not train the other 3 days, and someone who trains 4 days a week, but then walks an hour on those 3 days. Literally, it's mind-boggling how much stronger, resilient, and fitter the people are who keep the 7 days going, even if they wouldn't consider them to be training sessions. Like, I'm not really working out. I'm just walking my dog. You wouldn't believe it in terms of overall consistency and strength, functional movement, etc. So stay active and factor in daily movement, right? For those of you who love the 2-a-day training sessions, anybody? Like, do a training session in the morning and do that walk at night. Like, it adds up. It's easy to do. It's completely socially acceptable. Gets you away from your devices, outside of the house, maybe a little bit of sunlight in your life. Pretty good, right? Sounds like low-hanging fruit, and it really, really is. So take advantage of it. Number 2, I want better bread. This is my favorite one, better bread. Why? Well, everyone thinks about a sandwich. You're like, what's in the middle of the sandwich? Well, like, what's the meat? Like, what's in the center, right? Is it peanut butter and jelly? What I got in there? Crunchy? Smooth? Where am I at? They're all worried about the middle. And for the longest time, most people are worried about the middle. Hey, how fast did you go in that interval? Hey, how fast did you climb that climb? Right? All of this stuff. But as we get older, we need to focus on the bread. And the bread for the sandwich, that's the warm up and the warm down. Becomes more and more important. So you definitely need to make sure that you've got not just a deliberate time set for both warm up and warm down, but you may even want to have a deliberate ritual. Inside Endurance Nation, we've got a tempo block for the bike, sometimes for the run, depending on the level that you're at, to actually focus in and notice the RPE of that tempo and your other numbers, your power and your heart rate. Where are you at? If those numbers are off significantly or consistently off, then we make adjustments on your training so you don't go wrong. But that warm up, regardless, becomes a device that helps you get ready. It prepares your body for the work that's coming, and it allows you to do the work that you want to do at that high level of intensity that's going to create the adaptation that you want. So warm ups aren't a waste of time as you get not old, because you're not getting old, right? Totally. No, not you, not me, not old. No way. Oh, okay. Next thing you want to think about, number 3 here on the list, is macro level recovery. Because you're in denial about getting old, you probably don't want to buy protein shakes and put your legs up and do all that stuff. That's for other people, right? You got still busy, right? You still got high expectations, cramming those workouts in, etc. So if you don't want to play that game, then focus on macro recovery. So easy, low-hanging fruit for macro recovery, great sleep. Just get good sleep. So get back to 7 hours, get back to 8 hours. If you're like, I'm a 5-hour kind of night kind of person, I hear you. That is beyond suboptimal. If you talk to any medical professional, athlete or non-athlete, doesn't work. Terrible, terrible health outcomes if you're not getting good sleep. So prioritize that sleep and get in there. So if you're still rushing through the day and cramming workouts in and life is hectic, etc., that's fine. Just make sure you have good sleep hygiene and you get good sleep. Another version is making sure you have a whole day of rest in your week. If you can't manage that sleep stuff, give yourself a day to sleep in and a whole day of just being kind of lazy around the house, doing some other stuff, if that's possible, right? If that's inside your world. So any way you can factor in some of that macro recovery, and you start to notice that, on the days I get good sleep, the next day I have a great day. And also a great training session. Or on the weeks that I actually get in that rest day, I have a great next week. I'm great Monday through Wednesday when I used to only be good Monday, right? Because I've had that rest cycle, I've been able to improve. So just trying to create little opportunities for you to notice that by being strategic in the distribution of your effort, you'll actually get better outcomes, right? And last but not least, fuel your days. We've gone from first fueling our workouts, like I'm going to do this hard workout, I need a gel, I need a block, I need a bar, I need a juice, I need a whatever, to now thinking more about fueling your days. Nutrition is actually important across the course of your day. As we get older, we become more sensitive to certain types of food, but we also notice the deficits like dehydration or missing key vitamins much more significantly. So making sure that as you move to different cycles and as you move across a week from, say, doing shorter, harder workouts to maybe longer stuff on weekends, that you actually anticipate some of that workload and adjust your nutrition accordingly. Listen, middle of your life, not only do you have money to go buy groceries, you're actually in charge of buying groceries, and you're in charge of probably putting them together into some form of meal. Be intentional. Be deliberate about this. Make sure that before you go out for a big Saturday, that you have a good dinner on Friday night, right? Don't wing it. There is no wing it. When you run out of calories on a workout and when you're not taking care of yourself by staying hydrated, you're actually really dampening the effects of the training session, but you're also creating a cascading set of problems that are completely avoidable if you take care of yourself. All right. So to recap, number 1, daily movement really makes a difference. Connect those days. Number 2, better bread. Let's make sure we get that warm up and warm down in, so we're really on track. Number 3, macro recovery. I understand you don't want to put your legs up after a session. You got to hop in a car, go carpooling or something else, or hop on a Zoom call, whatever it may be. That's fine. Get good sleep or build in that rest day every single week. And finally, fuel your days. Stop worrying so much about that workout and understand that good, clean eating, consistently done over time, well balanced and adjusted to your training load, is going to set you up for a fantastic week. Now, I know you're still not old, but maybe you can still learn a few new tricks, right? Just like me. I hope you captured something really valuable from this lesson. I'll be back. There's a few more episodes here in our Masters series as we talk more deeply about what recovery and strategy means for managing your effort across a year and also on the race course. This has been Coach Patrick from Endurance Nation telling you that you're not old like me. I'm not old either. And none of us get older. We get younger every day. It's amazing. But regardless of what your age is or where your age is headed, you can be smarter. We can always get 1% smarter. And I hope this episode helped you. If you did like it, share it with a friend. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in our next episode. Take care, everyone. Be well, be safe, stay young.
Endurance Nation.
Did you know that we hold training camps every year? And not just ordinary training camps, but training camps internationally as well. This week, I want to talk to you about our Mallorca training camp. We are going into our 7th year of hosting camps in Mallorca, a spring journey, a sojourn in April of teammates new and teammates to be who come together to enjoy this magical island, the home of cycling in Europe. This is your chance to join us for a guided tour. We base ourselves out of Port Paenza. It's a fantastic environment. We have a great guiding crew. There's different levels based on different abilities, so there's no pressure for you to ride faster than you want. We have 5 or up to 7 days, depending which option you choose, of incredible cycling options. We're at the base of the Tramontana Mountains, so you can go left to stay flat, or you can go right to go up, or you can do some combination thereof. Enjoy some incredible Spanish cuisine, Spanish wine, great friends, and a good time by checking out our Mallorca camp. All of our camps, including the Mallorca camp, live online at Mile 18. You can find them at www.mile18inc.com. That's mile18inc.com.
For more information about Endurance Nation, visit us online at endurancenation.us. The provided music is from the Podshow Podsafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com.